Several manufacturers have begun making label-free products, saving both consumers the hassle of peeling them off and making the recycling process more efficient. But an expert says we must consider reusable containers instead of using disposable packaging. Bo-kyoung has the full story.
Overflowing waste. Out of all waste, plastic causes some of the biggest environmental issues, as when buried it does not rot, and when incinerated, gas is emitted. That is why we need to recycle it properly. There are lots of types of plastics. Among those, we are most familiar with PET, the type of plastic used for beverage bottles. How is it being recycled? The PET recycling company first needs to detach the labels, then sort the bottles by color and get rid of alien substances, crush them into pieces, and clean them several times. Out of those steps, getting rid of the label is the most important but toughest task.
80 to 90% of the bottles have labels on. During the recycling process, we are seeing so much waste because of this. If we have label mixed with PET material, it cannot be recycled into a high-quality product. When we filter out the labels, PET gets filtered as well. That's a lot of loss.
To tackle this problem, water bottle manufacturers have started making bottles without labels.
Back in 2020, this beverage company became the first in the country to sell label-free water bottles. Instead of having a label, its brand name is engraved on the plastic bottle.
The bottle factory manager says making a label-free product is quite difficult, as the whole manufacturing process needs to be changed, starting from the bottle's mold design.
To come up with a label-free water bottle, we have invested in mold equipment and had to go through trial and error for about a year to put in the indented logo and secure the product stability.
These label-free bottles have turned out to be very popular. 1.37 million crates were sold in 2020. In 2021, that figure exploded to more than 24 million crates. Other companies are following the trend. Not all can go label-free, but even if they could, an expert says there will always be a certain amount of loss during the plastic recycling process, so we need to still think about the fundamental issue of reducing the use of disposable packaging and containers. Though South Korea is late to the discussion, the expert says the country could still lead the market if it acts now.
So basically, we need to think about changing containers from disposable to reusable. Global companies are already putting this into action. South Korea is late. We are now considering how to recycle well and use the recycled materials. But fortunately, we are in a better situation. Glass bottles are still being used for soju and beer, so we have higher rate of using reusable glass. Though we are late, since we still have infrastructure that uses reusable containers, we could find it easier to deal with the issue.
Making recycling easier, from plastic to glass, from disposable to reusable. It will take some time, but in order to protect and preserve our Earth, we should start taking the right steps as soon as we can. Bo-kyoung, Arirang News.